Greetings from Semillas, a working-class think tank and action center. This is our weekly news and review broadcast for the first week of June 2026. Last week, in view of the stalemate that had resulted in the U.S. Israeli war against Iran, we outlined the options for Donald Trump: tactical retreat or strategic defeat. What happened since then? Nothing. There seems to be no resolution to this quagmire. Perhaps you can call this a low news week, but in this case, no news is not good news. Even though the Iran war looks like a stalemate, there are back and forth military strikes taking place on an almost daily basis. The United States will hit Iran and its facilities. Iran will retaliate and hit other Arab countries' military facilities at the same time. And Israel continues its military campaign against Hezbollah in Lebanon, which is a key Iranian ally. The real story is that failure to get out means massive bottlenecks continue for the entire world economy. 15 million barrels of the world's oil supply are going missing every day because they are stuck on the other side of the Hormuz Strait, inside the Persian Gulf. 15 million barrels of oil daily. That's about how much oil the entire nation of China uses. And many nations, especially in Asia, are becoming desperate for this essential commodity. The clock is ticking. And there are other key commodities necessary for industrial production, like aluminum, fertilizer for the world's farmers. This planting season is just passing, and these farmers have not had access to the fertilizer that comes out of the Hormuz, the Persian Gulf area. This will have potentially massive consequences for the world food supply. And then there's helium for the microchip industry and other such commodities. Truck drivers in the United States are paying $2 more per gallon for diesel fuel today. That's $500 more per truck fill-up. Just think about that. $500 more per truck fill-up than before the war. Higher grocery prices are resulting from this, obviously. Higher prices for everything, moving by truck, by air, by ship. So the real news for this first week of June 2026 is that stagflation is setting in. And that's the worst type of economy. Stagflation is a combination of two words: stagnation and inflation. On the inflation side, last week we provided you an announcement of the Department of Commerce saying that inflation is up. You all know that. Inflation has hit 3.8% and it's just starting. It means interest rates are going up. It becomes harder to buy homes and anything else when the credit card costs go up, etc. And then on the other side, stagnation means that the economy is starting to slow down. People are losing their jobs, the layoffs. Companies are shutting down because of all sorts of problems that are resulting from this international situation. So what we have here is an economic slowdown and a chain reaction that is impacting the entire world. Without resolving the Iran war by tactical retreat, things will get much worse. So, no news out of the Middle East is not good news, and the clock keeps ticking. There are some ships getting in and out, but there are also ships being hit by the U.S. and Iranian missiles on a regular basis, probably creating an ecological disaster that will last there for years. In other news, the House of Representatives, our Congress, passed a resolution last night by a 215 vote to 208 against, calling for President Trump to withdraw immediately military forces from Iran. That's a pretty significant result. But guess what? It's a non-binding vote. It's meaningless. Finally, in a June 4th Wall Street Journal opinion editorial, former Secretary of State under President George Bush, Condoleezza Rice, urges Trump not to withdraw military forces, that we are winning and that time is on our side. What? Now, that's rather fascinating when you take a step back and note that Condoleezza Rice today is the president of the Hoover Institute. The Hoover Institute is a think tank, but a think tank for the ruling class. Semillas is a think tank, but a think tank for the working class. And you see what opposite opinions result from this? Again, the warmongers represented by Condoleezza Rice, by the Israeli lobby, by the military-industrial complex, are the ones that are influencing Trump. And don't forget that while we wait, the bloody siege of Gaza and the West Bank continues unabated. And the massive Israeli air bombardment of Lebanon, a nation with no air defenses, continues. Again, the best option today is a tactical retreat. Immediately, we need to get out. The American public needs to come to terms with reality. We are in the middle of a 100-year campaign launched by Europe, then the United States, and now Israel to dominate the Middle East and its oil. We have caused incredible damage to the people and economy there for the past 30 years. Yet by all measures, the American working class overwhelmingly says it does not want this war. However, another part of this story in June 2026 is that we of the United States working class are like the ostrich putting its head in the hole to avoid danger. We are conformist and complacent as disaster approaches. Semillas News and Review is here to provide you with valuable information that you will not get through the mainstream media. And we are a working class think tank and action center urging you all to begin to contemplate a need for you to educate yourself and prepare to do something. And that's why we're here. Please like, subscribe, contact us, and help support our efforts financially. Thank you.
Semillas Community Center is a working class think tank and action center. We have a plan, sowing the seeds of transformation.